So Scott Griffin, my brother,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear this story. Please do tell me
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Well, I'd like to, I was right here in your story, man. I felt a lot of the pain and a lot of that, man. You know, it was, thank you. But, yeah, yeah, I guess short backstory for me is, I was born and raised in Southern California. My family is from Lower Lake, Michigan area, but, I was raised in the middle of the desert, a town called Santa Clarita. Guess it's pretty big these days. Bunch of concrete and whatever everywhere. You know, uh, for me, kind of, very similar kind of drive is, I was a young, dumb kid and, I own it and didn't know what I wanted to do, dabbled in so many different things, went to college in all these fields, failed a lot, and just didn't know what I wanted to do. And, got a girlfriend pregnant very young. My wife actually had my daughter at 21 years old, so they share a birthday. So she got an epidural for her 21st. And
That's a hell of
yeah,
a birthday
man.
present.
You know, I like to share my story because it's just I think people really like they thrive or whatever you want to call it. They're hungry for just raw truth, like no BS anymore. And you know, I was upraised in a regular family and, my wife got pregnant, like I said, girlfriend at the time. And for me, it was one of those moments where I just was like, fuck, man, like, what are we doing? Took a trip to Michigan and was sitting at the Legion with my grandpa. And there was a Vietnam vet with maybe at best one good tooth. And he explained to me why a PBR can was red, white, and blue.
There you go.
And
That'll get you attention right
I
there.
kid you not, man. Yeah, I was,
We
yeah,
know we
sick.
know our PBR, so that's something. Now you're talking to us in our
Right?
language, right? Like, holy
You
cow,
know?
that's why. So tell us why PBR is
Yeah,
red, white,
man.
and blue since you brought it up, because we don't want everybody
Man,
on suspense.
shoot. Dude, man, for me, it was just, for me, it was just the palpable feeling in that place to serve. And it was like America, you know, like, dude, just go get it. And that man, this is like 20 something, maybe 20 years ago now. TBI is just like you. Can't remember what I had for breakfast.
Exactly.
But but in here, like I know the feeling of why I went, what he was telling me. And yeah, not even a week later, I signed up for the military. I didn't care what I was doing, what branch I was in. I was like, I have to serve. And for me, it was just a way to get my life on track. I had a beautiful baby girl, and it turned my life around, man. And I was like, dude, I can't, I got to stop, dude.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I couldn't do it myself. So I was like, I'm going to do the only thing I know is to force it. And
Take away the
I joined the
option.
military, man. Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
I can't do
Like,
this on
tie
my
my
own,
hands
so
up, let's
lock me
go.
up.
Yeah,
And I'll do
and,
whatever you tell me.
it was a beautiful
Yeah.
and dude, I did, man, I thrived in it, I loved it, I joined the military as a logistician, and, it kinda worked with my mind, I'm a very, like, cut and dry questions and answers type of guy, and I just like to see the big picture and, you point, I shoot.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well. And yeah, I went through basic training, all the good things, and they told me airborne school was an extra $150 a month, and I said, "Man, that's beer money." So I went
Yeah.
airborne, and
Isn't it funny how you just shuffle your way over into this? Next thing you know, you're into this and into this and into this, and you're like, "What
yeah,
happened there?" Eh, I've never been to airborne
but
school,
yeah,
however, I hear it's a blast.
it
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 has
was
its
something,
moments.
man. I was, uh, the brotherhood, just like anything else, is what keeps you going, man. And I actually ended up fracturing my hip. This is probably the first time anybody I've ever told any besides my wife and family. Fractured my hip on my third jump in airborne school. And just like as you know, in the military, that means you're going to sit there and wait until you get recycled. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting here. So literally, like, dumb young kid, I got some ace bandages and I'm like wrapping my hip up. And because you airborne shuffle run
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere you go, chow, everything. And I jumped the other 2 times and I freaking graduated.
Are you
I
serious with a
tell you
broken
what,
hip?
it wasn't broken,
Nothing
it's
to see
fractured, it
here,
was
guys.
extremely
Nothing Did you
excruciating
master the
pain, yeah.
landing prior to that? I'm hope feeling you felt good about how soft you could put feet on ground now.
Man,
Broken hip and all,
God, I
that's
had yeah.
you must have gotten skilled
Yeah,
at
it
it
was,
already.
God, it was brutal, man. I sat on a pillow in my car and everywhere, gosh, for probably at least 6 years after that. Like, I had never told you're probably the first person that, like, minus my family that I ever told was like, "Yo, it was a good fracture." I remember landing and it was just the wind shifted direction, and I took the blunt of the entire landing right on my ass, basically, and, I just remember going black and, like, this shock of lightning through my whole body, and, but yeah, I was just I was driven. Anywho,
You're like,
yeah, ended up
walk
in
it
the
off,
80
I'll be fine."
Oh,
I'm
man.
sure it's fine. Even though I can't feel the bottom half of my body, I'll just keep going. It's
Hey,
very,
man,
it tells a lot about
it
our
moved, and
personalities then.
yeah. Right? You're driven. Like, I'm going. I'm not I refuse to quit, and I'm gonna keep going, and, I had a motivation, and, uh, yeah. Anywho, I went to the 82nd Airborne, was a very man, I don't know how you explain the 82nd Airborne, man. Is it is
Now
like
I'm really curious to hear how you explain it. Take a minute, breathe, and give me a 3-word summary and then fill it in. See if you
ah,
can do it that way.
oh, man,
First
it is
first
y
word's gotta be intense.
I guess, yeah, it's intense, it's like, severe discipline, and, I I don't know of another word, but it is very structured, I'd say, like, let's go with structure. Structure explains the 82nd Airborne. There might be people that think differently about it, but it was exactly what I needed. I had some of the most amazing leaders. I had, my first day there, I was doing my PT test like anybody else, and I had this really cock diesel, buff, Asian guy. His name was, Staff Sergeant Andreas at the time, and I remember him looking at me, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, "You will beat everybody on this run. Like, nobody on my team loses," kind of thing. And I was a young dummy, and I'm like, "All right, man. Like, I can't
Sounds
lose."
good.
Like this dude, my NCO just said like, "This is it," and I followed directions. Yeah. Couldn't remember if I know I ran very fast, but yeah. Anywho,
Whatever it was, you ran
it
your
was
ass
fast.
off and you did it with a fucking passion and you literally like I'm sure you crushed it for you. It was definitely a personal record. I mean, no doubt
Yeah.
you probably never run that fast again since then.
Oh no.
And
God
so
no.
then you got through
God
the
no.
82nd Airborne and where'd you go? Where'd you get? I mean, I've read your
Yeah.
LinkedIn and so looked like you had 29 people underneath you, 350 people, and I'm using arbitrary numbers. And then all of a sudden 6,000 or something, and I was like, and the millions of dollars of things that I was like, "Wow, okay, that was a big promotion there." So tell us about the Army
Uh,
career.
so Army career, yeah, is I just followed that structure of like, I'm a very competitive guy. I don't like to lose, but I also, um, I was a very good, whatever you want to call it. I followed direction. I took it and I moved, and I didn't like people to tell me things twice. That's just how I was, and yeah. So knowing what I knew, we had a special operations unit. Third group was obviously on brag. And I always just wanted to be the best I could be, and I wanted to work with the best dudes possible in my field. So when it was reenlistment time, I reenlisted and was got over to 10th Special Forces Group. Went into the 2nd Battalion there, and dude, it was home, man. It was such home. I was with some of the most amazing first sergeants and leaders and just people that I've ever worked with in my life. And the difference between, regular structured military and special operations for an enabler guy is like, I tell it to a lot of people is like, in 82nd, this truck with this wheel, with this color, with this and this and this, and everything is exactly identical. And that's cool, man, if you want to learn structure, right? The world is ever evolving and changing. And special operations, this truck with this turbo, with this tire, meant that that's how that mission got executed. Let's go. And it
That's
was
right.
like, oh, like this is a whole new way to look. And I just worked my way up, man. I deployed with some of the greatest people that I've ever deployed with twice back to back to Afghanistan. Watched a lot of, um, yeah, I watched a lot of brothers pass, and it was brutal.
So then after you
It
got out,
was
you obviously had the same, not same, but, similar, challenges to
yeah,
what a lot of other brothers and sisters that come out of the military had, and, for me, I know one of the biggest things I think is important to vets is the loss of the community, the loss of the brotherhood, and not
yeah,
having one minute you've got people there that are ready to die for you, the next minute you're in a society full of people that don't care you exist, and there's really not a lot of, like, us being able to get together and, like, sit around a bonfire like we did in the military, and have the conversations that we had and the camaraderie, that kind of thing. And so when you got out, you obviously went back to work because we all have to. That's the way it works.
yep,
Unfortunately, we don't make enough money in the military to retire. That would be
yep,
cool. But then you came
yeah.
back. Did you have what was the biggest challenge getting back into the regular society for you?
Oh, man. So for me, I mean, obviously, I was medically retired. Dude, I couldn't hold on to the pain anymore. Like, it was brutal. Like you said, I was on by the time I got retired, I was on 12 medications, the majority of them psych medications. I felt nothing. 30 something years old, my dick wouldn't even get hard anymore. I mean, I was so numb. But yeah, I
That's
got out,
ugh.
and just kept just kept driving, man. And it took me a little bit of time to finally fall apart, but I sunk myself in a new career and I worked my way up. I worked for a, filter manufacturer when I moved out here, and, I just kept driving, man. For guys like us and corporate America just doesn't understand this, so if you're listening, like, pay attention, man. It's the
Listen to the
people.
vets. Listen to the people.
It's the people, man.
Man,
Like,
everything
dude,
is
it's not
people.
it's not the flipping dollar, dude, it's the people, man. That's how I got to where I got. I started as a production manager, and I just kept moving and moving until I was the plant manager. I managed, I think at my top, I think we had 220 some odd employees, 6 or something departments. I never sat behind my desk. Man, I was in it, and people will tell you if they, they're here and they hear this man is like, you it was still that same drive, like, "You will not beat me." I was on the shipping floor as the highest echelon in the state, and I was shipping. You were not gonna beat me on how to build a filter, in the production department, creating inventory, creating these training departments. This company had no training.
So,
Their
mi
training
mi
was, "Hey,
mild
man,
competitive
no."
attitude? You're mildly competitive?
It's I think it was just, like, I didn't want somebody to tell me just like you don't wanna be told, like, how to do your thing is like, you got guys below you that knew, like, better than you, and I was like, "No, if I'm gonna run it and you have a question, I will have an answer.
That's
Like,
right,
I
that's right.
will be able to teach, mentor, and coach you." Did, but
So
at the end
the
of the day, like, that was it. It was the people, man, and I dove into the people, and I all those people, like, I didn't know everybody's name, but I knew who was having babies. I knew who was having grandbabies. Dude, if you needed food, I was feeding you, like, I loved everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the peak, and I loved it, and kinda like what you were saying, kinda leading into it was the owner of the company always said, he didn't need a suit and tie, and I won't say the company, and I've signed paperwork and things like that, but, you know, he never needed a suit and tie because the area it was in was challenging. It was a very ghetto, impoverished community, and I did it didn't matter, man. It was the people. It does not matter the type of people that are in the world, like, people say it perfectly is like, you have so much more in common with these people that are quote unquote "left" or "right," than you do with these people that make all this money that say that they run this world, right? Like, at
exactly,
the end of the day, I just
exactly.
wanna feed my family. That's
Right.
all that they want. Feed your family, make it through the fucking day.
That's right, man, that's right.
But yeah. But
So
yeah,
as
the
a
guy ended up yeah,
let's step back for a second to the military. Tell us, in your job, your AFS, or your MOS in the Army, right? What was the what was the task that you had to accomplish in a quick summary so people can understand what you do? Because I don't know that anybody would understand the term. Well, heck, you
yeah,
explain it because it's actually a very
yeah,
impressive job and it's something that's so pivotal in any business, let alone the service to do. But let's give people a little backstory on that. So tell us about
yeah.
what it entailed.
Yes, I was what the Army calls, I don't know if it's through all of them, but I was a 92 Alpha. I was an automated logistics specialist, so I was a warehousing guy. And I didn't start out in the warehouse, started out in the motor pools. I'm just a grimy type of guy, and I like that type of environment. I did, But, anything that came in and out of a unit, just like any other city, town, organization, doesn't matter, it flowed through that warehouse. It didn't matter what it was flowing through, and we were keeping the mission rolling. And in a combat zone, it was, keeping the dudes, keeping the food on the plates, keeping the bullets in the guns, keeping the weapons maintained, keeping the radios maintained, keeping the trucks going, and anything in between. It was you don't understand that, and it took me time, like, we like the war, things don't win the wars. It's right, it's the logisticians in the background and the people that are keeping this fight going, man. That supply chain of keeping these dudes fed, like, you don't understand what goes on in the background of a unit to keep that thing alive.
That's true, and honestly,
It
like,
is
that's
just
one of those
night
things
and
that
day.
people don't we in the I think it was in the Air Force, it said something like, it takes 22, people to make 1 aircraft fly, and it's like, you don't realize, like, the pilot's the one you see in the plane,
Yep.
took 22 people to make that aircraft take off, and it's like, those people are all behind the scenes making it happen, but you don't ever hear about their stories and where they come from and how important they are, and you're right, dude, supply chain management, how good are soldiers if they have no supplies? And if it's not on
Yeah,
time, does that change the mission? No. If it's not
right?
the right product, does that change the mission? No. Does it, you know what I mean? Like, so you better be accurate, you
Yeah.
better be timely, you better, and that's just a lot of stress, man. That had to take its toll.
Dude, I loved every minute of it. Like, supporting special operators was like the pinnacle of my life. I loved it. Like, loved.
You
Um,
thrive on pressure,
it was
huh?
I just dude, I loved it. And, like, it met the fancy in my mind, and I love the stress, and, obviously not, these days I paid for it, but, yeah, it was just keeping it going, man, keeping them going. It was just, man, I thrived on it, and I loved it, and I kept wanting to go back and wanting to go back, and when I ended up moving to 5th Special Forces Group, and, it was the same thing, like, "Dude, I can't sit here, like, get me out there." Like, if they're there, I need to be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you weren't a desk
So, yeah,
jockey, huh? You didn't sit there and punch paper all day.
I
You were actively
I
pursuing the
hated it.
mission.
Yeah, I wanted to be where they were, and I wanted to support the mission, support the cause, man, and, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when I retired, I had been to Afghanistan a few times, I've been to Iraq, and I was in Syria. And I was in all of them, man, and, they all had their challenges, they all had their upsides, they all had all these different things, man, but it's the people that keep you going,
So,
man. It was
can I
so
ask
good.
a I gotta ask a hypothetical question here. What would happen if, a troop were to, say, leave, I don't know, 80 something $billion worth of equipment in the wrong country and just walk away from it? Is that an Article 15, or is that a court martial, or is that
Man,
I remember
you think, right?
if we lost any ammo, we were court martialed, and I'm like, this guy's just so all the work you did, man, all the work you did. I mean, it's very disrespectful in a hypothetical situation. If that were to happen.
You're right, dude. So it's kind of funny you say that. Is yeah, the only reason I was in Syria because I was already like starting to kind of crumble at that time in my life. I had a phenomenal first sergeant call. His name was First Sergeant Weeks. Still talk to him to this day. Like, dude, man, make me teary thinking about the man. But
There's a
yeah,
couple of
there
those
was just
guys in
something
my
about it.
life.
I Right? And, but there was something about the I don't remember the whole ins and outs, but there was something wrong in the battlefield to where it was the height of COVID and we needed somebody to come out and account for the equipment so we could transfer over responsibility to the next guys. And I was a rear D guy, I had all my pills and you couldn't be away from your pills for more than a day, as you know, or, bad things really happen. And dude, I deployed in the height of COVID. I mean, I remember being in Delaware or somewhere in a hotel room in the height of COVID with my gun case and my weapons and everything under a hotel bed, just a regular civilian, and I was just hopping flights, man. And yeah, I got out to and I went from Kuwait to Iraq to Syria to back to Iraq and just like accounting for all this stuff. And it was just like, it was so ridiculous and not, I mean, not ridiculous, but it was like,
Yeah,
oh, like millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of shit just across 3 countries and battlefields.
yeah.
So
You're like,
yeah.
yeah. Woo. Yeah, I could see that being an interesting scenario, being in a hotel room deploying during COVID, which was, let's be honest, a crazy time period to say the least. And
Oh,
Nobody will
brutal.
ever forget that time, at least. I don't
No.
think even
Yeah, when
us even us with our head injuries,
it
we
was
can remember that. That was a nuts time. I didn't realize that was, that you've been kicking ass for a long time, dude. So you were, a Southern California guy, and you came in, you joined the
yep.
Army because you're an overachiever and you've got too much testosterone, and then, broke your hip in airborne school. And then you decided that I'm not gonna tell anybody, I'm just gonna keep going and make this thing happen. Graduate 82nd, yeah, and then Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. Obviously, the medications that they give you for pain and for, the mental stuff, and who really knows which one? It's like the chicken and the egg thing, right? When you start taking the pain meds, it causes a lot
Oh,
of psychological things and so on and so forth. And, I think everyone's beat that dead horse enough. We've all talked about how many veterans and how much we were fed those things, but what was the best thing, the one memory that comes to your head when you think about the military that's like your happiest memory?
it's just the brotherhood, man.
That's the
It's
brotherhood,
that's
right?
all
It's
it
the
is, that
community, isn't
it's
it?
the brotherhood.
It's sitting around with
It's the
them doing
tribe,
nothing.
man, the
Sitting
tribe,
around doing nothing,
right? Oh,
just chilling with your boys and
even if you were
nothing.
didn't matter. If I
Doesn't
was in a
matter.
foxhole, or if I was deployed, or I was in the motor pool, or I was in the warehouse, or you were standing on that stupid field waiting for a change of command, standing still for God knows how long, it did not matter, man, because you were just like, "Dude, I'm in it with the dudes, man,"
That's
and you
right.
just love it, man. That
A little
tribe
bit
and
stronger.
purpose is everything.
That's right, that's right, and then we also too, I think there's an important thing, like, I'm a big fan of unity. If people ask me to support something, my question is, does it include everyone? And if it does not, then I'm not a part of it, and that's just the way I believe, because I believe no one should be excluded from anything. But I think that there's a lot of, that division going on these days in our society, which I think is really, encouraging or making an impact on us because of the fact that we're not used to any of that. We don't have race, sex, nothing
No,
like that. We are all green. We are all brothers. We all got each other's sixes, and that's what you become. You live that, and then the next thing you know, you're in this society where
yeah,
people are constantly trying to separate themselves from you, and you're like, but but we can all just why don't we all just hang out and be
yeah, man,
good? Like, and it's like, but you feel like an alien walking around when you're fucking telling people this nonsensical thought process of the brotherhood. But everyone that I ask, everyone that serves, same thing. Their one memory they think of is the brotherhood of men, the group, the rallying,
yeah,
the good times. Meanwhile, the things we don't think about when we're going through it because of our brotherhood and because of how supported we are, when we do have to face it after we get out, we have to do it on our own. We have no resources
yeah.
because let's be honest, Veterans Administration isn't doing a bang up job with things.
No,
If we got
no,
22
they're
to
not.
44 veterans a day committing suicide in America, which is a ridiculous number. These are more people have died from suicide than from all the wars combined. And I know that it was a heavy burden to carry, whether no matter what your role is, no matter what you did in the service, but especially the top special ops guys. Coming back to America and then having to get plugged back into a society that's trying to divide itself from you. You can't talk to anybody about anything you did. Nobody would understand anyway because they've never been anywhere. So you're like in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, man, 2 days ago I was sitting with 25 of my best friends or seven of my best, you know what I mean, like your brothers, and you're like, what? How do I deal with it? And all of a sudden, for me, it was like all the stuff started to everything just endless imploding of information, and I was no longer able to distract myself or keep myself confident
Yeah,
or push because of the brotherhood, and that wasn't there. And I really think that the goal is to get to back to that now, and I think it's beautiful that we found ways to do that, and we're finding more ways, and we'll talk about that in
yeah,
just a minute. But yeah, no, that's the patent answer, and I love it because you came back, you went to work, you probably did the same thing, made yourself distracted for a while, tried to bury this stuff away
tried
because
to.
we're not allowed to ever admit anything or talk about anything, or God forbid we have a bad day or
Mhm,
feel terrible about our whatever. And so I know for you
yeah.
it took a while, right, before you finally felt the actual weight of everything.
Yeah,
Was there a pivotal
it did.
moment,
I mean,
a one
yeah.
thing that happened?
Yeah, honestly, like I was saying about the manufacturing plant, is the one day the owner of the company that I gave everything for just said, "We're done." Came in and just terminated me. No reason, no cause, no nothing, and, that was my purpose when I got out, was like, that was it,
That
and
was your
you just
next
took
duty
it,
station. You just transferred into that duty
right?
station, and that but now all of a sudden,
You know?
yeah. So
It was
that's
it,
really when you
man, and,
that's when you
oof,
actually
I
retired from
crumbled.
the you did?
Yeah, that's when I you get 'cause it dude, like, people don't realize it, man. It's like, we talk to civilians all the time, and it's like and they thank you for your service, and I look every time I talk to people now, and I go, "Man, I should thank you, man," because the Army and the military in general, like, yeah, we fought wars, we did that, but man, it was a camaraderie, it was a brotherhood, like, I loved it. Being out here, this is cutthroat. This is brutal, like, you don't give a crap about anybody but yourself to make it to the next level in the dollar and this and that, and you're just like, "I'm so done." Like, I'm so done with it, I don't understand, like, you're so backwards.
That's such a
Yeah,
profound thing, brother. That is actually really profound because you're right. It's exactly and that's why we're all going, uh what's going on here, you know? But we don't fit in this kind of society. And I sought out into
no,
55 countries to go find some, all of which seem to fit my lifestyle and thought process better than where I am currently, you know. But I also am a patriot. I love
right.
my country and I love my people, and I'll always, you know, always defend and protect the United States no matter what. So, but also the weight of that does come crashing down on you. And when they let you go, did he sell the company or did he just, dismiss you, or what was the deal? Did they never find out? It doesn't matter. It was
You know,
heavy.
I never I kinda I signed that paperwork to not whatever, and, they put a suit and tie in the position is what it was, you know? You put your blood, sweat, and tears, you build something, and then they put a suit and tie is what I got out of it, but, it's
It was
just, man, like,
it was a necessary
it
step
it
for your
was
healing.
it was, and that's where I started to I just kept spiraling from there, man, and I mean, you don't feel anything, taking those medications, right, and I remember to the day in the Army, like, going to the doctor, and people don't realize it, like, they when they think about Ibogaine and 5-MeO and all these medicines, right, like, why is it not called a medicine? I didn't believe it either. It's called a drug, right? But the doctor can prescribe these quote unquote medicines to you. Man, and I remember going to the doc after getting to that unit and going, "Man, I'm fucked up. Like, I'm really bad, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm having panic attacks. I think I'm gonna die." Like, the first thing they prescribed me was trazodone and clonazepam, and that sealed my fate for over like 10 years, man. And they kept taking me on and doing all these different drugs and all these different drugs and changing it, putting it, boom, boom. And your mind is just like, oh, like, I don't know what is up anymore. I don't feel anything. I don't care. And you kept going and going and going, man, and it just
Man,
you're just it
what a
wasn't until you're so numb.
exactly. You can't feel
Like, how?
anything, and you literally are just a brain dead idiot, but you trust the system, right? You trust these people, you believe in them.
Yeah,
So they're and so
I
what they
believed
tell
in it.
you and like you said, you know, having a broken hip absolutely probably hurt a lot, and then probably later on and now, how's that hip feel? How does it feel today? Is it 100%? Are we good?
Uh, man, I think
No,
everything's arthritis and broken. I jumped out of way too many airplanes, man, but, when
that's
I was
just
young, I really enjoyed it, and the longer it got into my career, I was just like, oh, I dreaded every one. I was like, "Just please be somewhat of an okay landing," because I don't remember what it was. I think you're falling at, like, 19 feet per second, so you really have to, hit the ground, and it just
that
man, those last few,
you
man,
became
like
a
because you have to do
even much more, passionate about how you slowly you can land, right? You were an expert at how slowly you're like, "I'm gonna get this to where I don't even touch the ground until I'm just hovering."
I wish.
For me,
That is unfortunately not the case.
one of the doctors I was seeing when I was on all those medications and the one that made me stop taking them was, eh, eh, he said to me, he was my psychiatrist, and he said to me, "You're a hopeless case." He said, "You'll either be dead in 6 months or incarcerated," and I said, please tell me there's a punchline or something else coming after that. Like, this is you're leading up to something
That's
here. Like,
amazing.
that's it. Like, that's what you're gonna. And he's like, and so when he said it, I go, listen, I'm not taking any more of your
Oh,
pills.
man.
I'm not doing it. I'm never taking them again. And he goes, you can't get off all those drugs like that. You'll die. And I was like, people have been telling me I can't do things my whole life. And guess what? I've been doing them. So I'm gonna go ahead and not do that anymore. And so it took me about
Mm.
6 months of detoxing myself, but I never took another one of those after that. I just left them there. I
Ah,
was drinking and smoking all day, every day because that was helping me cope and deal with the numbness and the pain. Now I had 2, it was like now they just made me feel way more twisted because here now I feel all the pain still feel all the suffering of the past, but also I'm dealing with all the stuff that I'm getting from these meds and from this doctor. Well, I guess one of my other brothers didn't take it as well, our other brothers, because a couple weeks later, apparently they had upped all the security in the clinic. And I said, "What's going on? Why are we walking through locked doors?" And they go, "Well, a vet came in last week or the other day, and lit a psychiatrist on fire, brought a bottle of Zippo in his pocket and sprayed the doctor down." And I was like, wonder if it was the same doctor that told me I was a hopeless case. Maybe my brother didn't take it as well as I did. He was okay though, but
man.
he still a crazy situation. And anyway, that was the big pivotal moment for me where I was like, you know what, there's got to be a better way. So after I got off of everything, I went back to what makes a human being function. Right? Grassroots. What
Mm.
is it that makes us
Right.
go? And then the whole thing unfolds from there, right? So you have to get to a point of, all right, I hit the bottom. Now I'm ready to go forward. And it was like, what the first thing I need to focus on? Food. What did we eat as human beings on the earth? Plants mostly, but when we could kill something, we got it and we killed it and we ate it and we ate as much of it as possible.
Mhm.
But we probably didn't kill something all the time, so but anyway,
Right.
so from there you got to your final moment. What happened from there?
Yeah, so for me, ah, man, so my pivotal moment, and I still remember it, was I was upstairs in my living room, man, it was night, and I have a split level house, nothing crazy, just not too many stairs, but it's where it hit me, like, I knew I was numb to everything because everything that I love inside to do, I wasn't doing anymore, and it was like that internal you was like, "What are you doing?" You know? And,
Yep, I know
but
exactly what you
my
mean.
youngest son fell down the stairs. Yeah, my youngest son fell down the stairs, and it's not it wasn't a lot of stairs, nothing crazy, and he's screaming, and that's where it hit me, is I just like a typical any other military guy or hardened, father that's not brought up the right way went, my wife's running up the stairs screaming, and I was like, "He's fine. He's fine." Like, I didn't go look, I didn't get off the chair. And I had been spiraling from there, but that one was like, "Fuck, man, like, what is wrong with you?"
Didn't even wanna
And you're
check on
like,
your
"You're
kid because
seriously that numb?"
yeah, you couldn't
Like,
feel
"Come on, man."
anything, no
Like, he's
emotion.
right there.
Yep, yep,
Like, he's
and so
fine,
they gave you
and,
the woke you up,
yeah.
huh? Shook you.
I guess, yeah, I mean, it really shook me, and, yeah, for the next few weeks or so, I contemplated killing myself so many times, man. I had the gun in the mouth. And I was like, "Fuck this, dude, like, I'm so numb because I just kept begging the Army and the VA, and, if they're out there, like, they can attest to it, as I just kept saying, like, "I just want 1%. Show me that I can get better by 1%, dude. I'm not saying anything like, 1, man. 1.
Give me
I'm
that
not
first
asking you
step,
for
give me
anything
that
more
first
than
step.
1.
If you just give me the first
Show
step.
me
That's
that."
right. Give me the first
Like,
step.
come on,
Get me
man.
here
I'm
so
just
I can see it be done.
show me it's possible. Like, is it possible to get better? Because I'm just getting worse and worse, man, and all you do is you keep putting these pills on me, and it's getting worse. I felt like a bomb, and I just was like it exploded, and I was holding the fuck out of it, like a and it just wouldn't let go. And, yeah, it's crazy as I was listening to Sean Ryan show. My older brother introduced me to it, and I'm doing some warehousing that I had, another job in warehousing I got linked up to, just went back to my roots of what I knew. And I listened to the Trevor Miller podcast, and I listened to more, and I listened to more of them, and I went down the rabbit hole, and, like, I was the, like, epitome of the American, like, I don't believe in drugs, everything is woo, like, everything's structured, everything, like, I didn't believe in higher powers, I didn't like, "This is it, you follow the path, man, right? You're hard, and this is what we do, right? You are the man." Uh, Dude, you know what? I said, "Fuck it." Like, that was the last time, and I couldn't pull the trigger, and I applied to Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. Man, I still, man, I might cry,
Yeah.
man. I still have the voicemail. I still have the voicemail from from Lori. it was not even 72 not even 48 hours or 72 hours later, man. Like, you apply to all these places, all these so-called vets, veteran-owned things, and, like, if you need help, man, reach out, brother. They don't ever reply to you, but Lori reached out from vets, and it was so fast, and I just remember, like, I don't know what it was, and I told her this day, like, she is a gift from God, man. Um, like, that
I
organization, man, is something, dude, and they were like, it was just like I remember my application was in bold letters, and that's all I remember. It was just like, "Help me." Like, this is it. If this doesn't work, I don't care. Like, I'm done. I'm done. And, dude, 48 to 72 hours later, vets reached out, and
wow.
she's like, "I'm getting you in. I'm getting you in, and we're gonna figure this out." And she talked me off a cliff, man. Very similar to you. From there, I got with the VA, and I was like, "Dude, it's not working. I don't know what to do, but I'm gonna do this because none of this shit is working." And the same thing, kind of similar to you, is my prescribers blatantly said, "I am not helping you get off these medications." I'm on 12 pills, man. Like, if I'm off for even I don't know, half a day or a day, my vertigo's so bad that, I would just it was dude, it was like sandy ocean in my mind, and, it was so bad. I mean, just
Can we just talk
completely
about something for
gone.
a second here? Let's talk about vertigo
Yeah.
because I'm one of those brothers that suffers from it, and I don't think people get how miserable vertigo is. Like, it's so miserable that you
Man.
don't you there's never a point where you're sitting stopped ever. You're always in a
You
direction,
Yeah.
and it's just a
Right? And with
miserable way.
vertigo, like, if you don't you have to, like, completely sit still. Your eyes cannot move, your brain can't move, nothing can move because as soon as it moves, it's just like that grainy sand in the ocean is just like, "Oh, god," and you're getting dizzy, and you're ready to puke, and you're just like, "What?" It was so I
Overwhelming.
mean,
Oh,
I don't know,
god.
that's the best that I can explain
That was
vertigo,
great,
is it's
actually. I
like,
think you helped me
you
to see it better.
ugh,
That made more sense to my brain than the last 30 or
ugh.
20 something years of dealing with it. But go on, please. I just wanted to touch on the vertigo because people don't realize
Ah,
there's a lot of unseen disabilities that are extremely miserable. So
it
like,
it it ugh. Like, dude, all of those pills had their vertigo is one. Hey, man, here, take this pill. It's gonna make you numb as fuck. If you come off of it, you're probably gonna die. And here's 12 of them.
you're like, I got this.
But
Watch
yeah,
this shit. Hold my beer.
good, and I did it, man. I believe,
Walked away.
and it's sad to say too. It's a, it's a, it's a blessing and a curse too, is because I was such a hardcore alcoholic, like anybody else. We deployed so many times and saw so many things that I remember, like, being able to drink a full bottle of Jack Daniels during after work, while I was still in, and getting up at 6:30 and still running PT, bro. Like,
Yep.
I don't care. I'll
Machines.
puke and I'll be fine,
Machines.
and I did it, right? And the pills, I took them very seriously because I was, purebred America. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Pills, I gotta take these pills." They say you can't drink with them, and I did eventually, like, drink a little bit, but it really, like, I pretty much stopped drinking, and that saved me at
Follow
least
the
from that,
rules.
but right? I'm following the rules, trying to at least, I had my falters, like anybody else. I'm not, I'm a sinner. So, but yeah, yeah, how I got off the pills was very similar. I had these pills, and a lot of them were capsules, and I would literally pour out the beads, and I would count beads for months and months. And I remember the guys from vets calling me, my peer supporter trying to reach out to me, and I was that hard guy, and I'm a peer support guy now with vets, and you just want to give that love, man, and it's hard because you know that they're in so much pain.
Yeah,
But
and you can't show them what they can't
I
see.
just
You can't show this is one
and
of those
nobody
things
they
they have to
wouldn't.
experience. You can't see this without
You
going there
have
and
to.
doing it. There's no facing yourself until you
Yeah,
face yourself. And that's kind of, I guess,
that's it.
probably one of the best things or the most, I guess, similar things is that's how I feel the intro into the military was. And I feel like this is how
Mhm.
you out process. This is how you reattach soul to body because it's you come face to face with
Right.
everything, right? And I mean, that sounds like a really scary, terrifying, miserable, no one would ever want to do that type of situation. But tell us what it really is like.
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing left, dude. Like, that's either this or you just want to die, and it's like, but being a father, for at least for me, is like, man, I got 3 kids and a wife, man. Like, you can't just die. Like, you are the glue that holds the family together. You bring everything in. You can't just go. And it was, and I'm counting these beads and I'm counting them. And I just remember vets just reaching out to me so many times. And I just kept saying, like, I'm white knuckling every day, every second of every day as I'm coming off these pills. It was so bad. Every bit of every emotion was coming up, and I it was pure rage and pure so bad anxiety. Speaking of, like, on the vertigo, my father-in-law, up until the last week before I went to Mexico, he had to drive me to work because I didn't wanna sit at home and suffer. So I was like, "I'm gonna go to work," and he would literally drive me 35 minutes to take
Wow.
me to work and drive me home 'cause like, I had vertigo, man, and
Yeah, it's
talk
not.
about like, I worked through the vertigo somehow, and I white knuckled every day. It was so painful. I actually ended up breaking 2 teeth in my mouth from clenching. Just completely annihilated them from just the lockjaw, and dude, like I said, it was like a bomb that went off in me, and I was holding on to it and just like, "Dude,
Yes.
just let go of the
Yes.
bomb, man." And you can't let go. And, but yeah, I got off the pills, completely dry, just like Ambio said to do, and it was so horrible, man. So, oh my god, every second of
What
every
year are
day
we talking about? I mean,
was
I
just
know
pure.
I'm not gonna hold you to the
So
fire
this
because
is
we don't have memories, but timeline.
yeah, this is November of 2024 was when, I reached out to vets, and I went in March of 2025 for my first, Ibogaine treatment with Ambia,
Wow, so you
and
dropped
it
like
was,
quick,
man, it was
12 of them.
so horrible.
How long did it take you
Oh,
to actually be able to
like I told
function?
you, like, uh, post Ibogaine?
Oh, really? So you got driven to the airport, headed to Mexico, you were still having your father and drive you places at
Oh,
that
yeah,
point?
oh
Even oh,
oh,
so
yeah,
you were
until the day I left to go to Ambio, I suffered, man. I suffered because nobody there's all these ways to get off these medications, I guess. I don't know. VA would not help me. No, and it was just, dude, like, what do you do? Ambio says you got to get off of them. I'm getting off, and I'm telling you, I was pouring these beads out, and I'm counting my little microscopic
I'm like,
beads,
yeah, there's a lot of
trying to get
beads in
off
those
these
things.
pills, and yeah, there's hundreds, man.
That's
And I
attention to
had it
detail.
timed down to like the day. It was so bad, man, and to make matters even crazier is my younger brother got married on Valentine's Day, which, you're gonna be there, you're gonna support him, but that was Valentine's Day. I leave in a month. I'm getting off pills here, so my wife's, like, driving me up to Michigan, and you're trying to put on this bold face, and you're drinking, and you're smoking pot, and you're trying anything to, like, level the crazy, right? So I'm doing all this smoking all this pot, and I'm drinking all this alcohol, and, just to try to balance anything, and I make it through, and I get off the drugs, and, I remember smoking to the day before I got to Ambio. Freaking California, man, is the only place I know of that you can sit in the hotel pool area, call DoorDash and be like, "Hey, man, can I get a joint?" And
Exactly,
you can just
exactly.
Door
You're like,
DoorDash it right to your freaking hotel room.
"Really? That's how
Yeah,
it
I'm
works?"
sitting with a yeah,
And
sitting with
they'll
a
sit and
guy
hang out with
in
you.
the by the yeah, they'll drive it right up to you, man. Like, only in California, man.
Only in
We ain't
California,
gotta
that's
go
right.
nowhere. No, but that's I
So
can't
when
put
you
into
got to
words, man, the
Ambio in
pain and the
Mexico,
suffering.
tell us what it was like. I mean,
Yeah.
what happened when you arrived? Who'd you go with? Let's get that. I wanna hear the story of
Yeah.
you, and Mexico.
Okay. Yeah. So my first trip to Mexico, man, wow. I mean, as you know, with any plant medicine, man, but I didn't know what to expect. I went with a veterans group. So they have like a dedicated veteran house there at Ambio. Just the same house that Waves of War was in. That's the exact house I was in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. I mean, the staff, you can't say, man, the love that they give you, dude. Whew, man, like the care that they give you, like that company, dude. Like
They
if
take care of you
anybody
all.
should spearhead this initiative, man, like just the passion that those guys and gals put into it. But
And
yeah,
did you say was Juan there when you were there?
got down.
Was he there?
I believe so. I'm
He's a
trying to think.
little small guy,
I
real
believe
tiny, but The jiu-jitsu
I
guy.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And, I was with, an actual, guy named Slider is his I guess, and, he was a sorry, Slider, if I get it wrong, I believe it was Navy. He was a jet pilot. Um, and man, I resonated with the stuff that he was saying, fighter pilot guy, and he runs the house there. And he was kind of like our coach, mentor, guide through that week. And we all got there. I was with um, just do these guys. I still talk to every one of them, I think, except for one right now to this day. But I was with a retired general and his son, guy, father son duo. I think he was a National Guard commander, something like that. And his story, like, dude, I still remember to this day, and I have a horrible memory. Is man, it sat with my heart. Is when you are that top brass, like has to communicate these letters to these families of people that passed away. Still to this day, man, like that sat on me. Like, oh gosh, like
See,
you had to make those calls. Like
behind
that's
the scenes of what
ugh.
you don't see of a flag officer, right?
And just like, oh, that's so brutal. But yeah, it was him, his son. They are actually working to create a nonprofit right now called Warriors Awakened or Awakened Warriors. Sorry, kind of doing the same deal. I won't give it all away because I don't know much. It's still in the making, and I can't wait for it. Yep.
So, Ambio, tell us more about your experience.
Yeah. So yeah. Like I said, I was just with a is a full veteran class. I don't remember. I think it was one Navy SEAL and a couple. I don't remember exactly. I want to say like five, say six guys total of us went to that house. Like I said with Ambio, man, I don't know how you can say anything else. I don't know if you said you went to Ambio, but
I
just
worked with
like
those.
man, the care, the love, the professionalism, like it's so ridiculous there. You're just like, I don't
It's,
understand.
it's a little
Like when they
different.
send a survey out, you're just
Is it different than the VA?
yeah. If the VA was yin, I guess they would be the yang. They'd be complete opposite, man.
I mean, man, we need Ambio running the VA.
Oh man, it would be a beautiful place to go, man. But yeah,
Ambio for Secretary of
man,
Veterans Affairs.
did
We're just kidding,
yeah, I
Secretary
would love for
Collins.
that, man.
Alright, tell me
But
more, brother.
yeah, day one, yeah, you get in there, they dump your bag out, make sure you're not, you don't have anything on you, whatever. Thought, like I said, I was so dead. I brought literally a backpack that had like three underwear, three shirts, and a sweatsuit. Like I was like, like I said, I if I die, I die. Like this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. Like fuck it, just
That's
ride the
saying a
wave,
lot.
dude. Um, I just that's what I brought, man. Like no laptop, just a phone charger, toothbrush, and nothing else. Literal backpack, and get there, they dump out, they go through your, medical history, talk to you, all that good stuff, that just that love and care, and you're just sitting there like, man, these people care, man, the whole time. Even back then when I couldn't feel, you're just like, man, why do these people care so much? Like it's just that's all you get is like it's so intense. But yeah,
Big
they go
difference.
through all that, and then you get to go through that what-
Well,
you get to go through that lovely now I call it like they have like a 3 phases or 3 hurdles that you go through, which is gonna be the Tomaskel, I believe I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's the, native Mexican, absolutely dreadful sweat lodge.
mhm.
So they take you down into the city down there somewhere, and, I learned this time when I went recently is it's a mother's womb, and it's actually like a full bowl, and it's like they have cemented, and you sit in the middle part, and then it's the bowl on the top, and then there's a hole at the top, and that's like the womb going out. So really cool to like kind of understand it. Man, my first experience through there was like it was tribal, dude. Like, when you're in there and you're drinking the water with them and they're having you go through, you're receiving love and you're passing love and to the next guy and you're sharing these things. Both experiences were very different for me. But it was just like you ended up like you're in there howling like you're a wolf, and you don't. I got out of there and I'm like, man, that was nuts. It's like a bajillion freaking degrees in this dang thing. I'll send you some pictures if you haven't
But
seen one.
yeah, I
I
would love
definitely
that.
took
We'll
pictures
definitely
this
have to
time, but
add
it's
them in,
just
man. Yeah, I would love to see those photos. That'd be amazing.
oh, but it's there's this like this fire in the back corner of it, and there's this like heavier set Hispanic lady that's the one doing it, and she's right in the fire, dude. Like the door is on the opposite side. I'm closer to the door than she is, and she's just douching this fire, just douche, douche, and you're just, dude. I remember sitting in there like, and you're trying to focus on the ceremony, and you don't know what's going on, and it breaks you down, man. It breaks you down hard, and I was like towards the end, I was like telling myself like I'm gonna die in here, and I'm taking like the foot fungus water off the ground, and I'm trying to splash myself. It's like, oh my god,
So funny.
it was
I'm
so
overheating. I
hot,
can't
dude.
take it. This'll
And
work.
like everybody's sweat that was on the ground, I was splashing myself with it. Like, just please, come on, like this door's got to open, and they have. I don't remember how many doors. It's either 3 or 4 doors when it opens and closes. But man, it was so nuts, so dreadful for me. It was like just you felt the detox, like it was dreadful, and but also like very spiritual.
Splashing fungus water on it.
Yeah, foot juices and all, yeah, but yeah, like I said, I don't. Both experiences were very different. Like I said, I've been twice, but the first one was it was intense. It was very tribal. It broke me down. I sweat out like some demons, man. I don't know what to tell you what came out of me in that womb, but it was absolutely brutal, brutal, brutal. But yeah, got out of there. We get back to the house, and they hook us up with the IV, and you get all the, if it's the vitamin and mineral with the electrolytes and all that good stuff. So they hook you up to the IV. You suck that down for the first night, um, and yeah, that's kind of your first day. I mean, the food there I didn't really say on, but the food, like for me that first time, I was so bad on coming off these pills that I actually lost 22 pounds that first week. I did not eat. I felt so bad because they have like a Michelin star chef. Both times I'm there, and they make you these 3-course meals, and it's freaking art. I'll send you pictures, like beautiful, beautiful art. And I felt so horrible. I couldn't eat it the whole time I was there. I would drink. They had smoothies every day, and Slider was there, and he'd try to guess what it was in it, and he was pretty good at it. But that's kind of what I ate was I had fruit for an entire week, man, like a smoothie. That's the only thing I could get down. And I was drinking. They had one of the little water, whatever you call them, and you get the water out of it. I was drinking the hot water out of there, trying to regulate my body temperature. I was freezing cold the whole time. Couldn't regulate body temp. Couldn't regulate my mind. Yeah, that was the first day. You get up on, Ibogaine day, and then, like I said, just a well-oiled, beautiful machine. You get up, you have breakfast, and, you kinda go through the day, and they have, like, meditation that you get to go through, just such a beautiful process. I didn't believe in it when I first went through it. Like I said, I didn't believe in anything. All I knew so far was that
Nobody
this
does
freaking
that
sweat
hokey
lodge.
stuff like meditation doesn't work, brother. Don't get involved in all that weird stuff. That's spiritual
Right? You
nonsense.
know? It's all nonsense, man, all nonsense. Yeah, I honestly I think I slept. It put me out, and, they did that. They do a lot of the, a lot of the talk stuff, which was kind of the first day, which was really nice. I didn't really touch on, but you have, like, a circle outside that you sit in. You kinda like we're doing and having that conversation, and like, "Why are you there?" And I said the same thing to that group and the doctors and Slider while I was there. I said, "Hey, man, just give me 1%. That's all I want is 1% that I know that I can actually improve by 1 freaking percent, and, that's all I'm asking for in this life is show me that I can get better, and I'll do all the work. I'll do everything, right? It's just please show me." But yeah, and they all went through their stories, and then, like I said, day 2, you have some breakfast, some meditation stuff, it's just a really good process, and there was, some other things in there, and then they kinda went into a massage, they had a massage before, and then right before the ceremony, that time it was raining outside, like, really bad, power kept going out in the house, huge storms kinda going in and out, and we ended up doing the, intention ceremony prior to to getting into the medicine, and I honestly, man, my intentions were so crazy back then, I couldn't even tell you what they were. We had to do it in the fireplace because it was so bad outside, and, I don't remember what I'd said, like, "I just wanna be a better man." I don't know, like, I didn't know this was gonna work. I didn't know anything, and, I just wanna be better. I don't want anxiety anymore, and, like, I threw my card in the fire, and everybody went through, and it was really good, and, man, yeah, and I took just, like, I don't know if you've heard, but, like, the very first pill, it's kinda like the Matrix. They give you your first pill and it's red. So, just like the Matrix, you can either take the blue pill and go back into the Matrix like nothing happened, or you could take the red pill and let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go. And, well,
And
kinda here we are talking, man, because I
yeah,
took the
you went
red
down
pill.
the so in the documentary that you mentioned, obviously one of the top films of 2025, maybe of ever, because it's gonna save hundreds of thousands of lives, which is the most important thing that we could possibly do. But each one of the people that went down to the clinic told their story about what they experienced from the Ibogaine. What was it that you had an experience with that was basically that
Oh.
thing where you went, aha.
So, yeah, my first Ibogaine experience was, I will tell you, was dreadful. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. It beat me up, chewed me up, spit me out. It was bad, man. I laid down in that bed. I took those pills. I didn't even. They wanted to give me a booster and do walk up and down the stairs to get my blood pumping. And I remember looking at the guy going, "I'm not walking those stairs, man." And the Ibogaine kicked in, and it's like that weird. I don't know how you anybody can explain that, but it's like a tick in your brain, like in your ears, but like in the middle of your brain, and it starts ticking. And they were like, "That's it's there when it's kicking." And now, like people say, like, "Oh, I have tinnitus. Am I going to hear it?" No, bro, you're going to hear this. And man, and whew, when Ibogaine hit me the first time, it was, I know why it did what it did. I asked the second time, and but it was all I can explain is when it came onto me, it was like boom, and I had this huge rush of a panic attack, one of the biggest panic attacks I ever had in my life. My arm went numb, and I was laying in that bed, and it was just the only way I can explain. My first experience was the Big Bang. Like it blacked me out, and it was just boom, like the biggest explosion ever, ever.
Maybe it was that
And
bomb
I
you were holding on
was
to. Maybe it was that bomb
oh,
that you had your
man, and
arms wrapped around so tight, finally exploding.
dude, it was so intense, and I didn't get a lot of visuals the first time, right? People expect these visuals, man. It didn't, man. I just remember saying something to the Ibogaine, like, just be nice or something, like, take it easy on me. But there was that huge explosion. I remember that. like, I can just the only thing you can explain it as is, like, the Big Bang, and I was floating over rubble that I knew was like me. I was rubble at that point, and I was like a humanoid shape, right? Like light, but I was in a human form. Um, and that was like not to be like anticlimactic, but like that's what people don't understand is like you're not going to see a lot. The medicine is going to do what the medicine needs to do. And at that time, I didn't understand it, but I had to be shut off. Like I had to be turned off. Like I had to be shut offline and worked on, man. And I kept blacking out and coming to and blacking out the whole night. No visuals at all, just that crazy music going on, and that crazy tribal African music, and you're just like, "What is happening?" And yeah, buzzing is like, it's going, and I kept taking my eye mask off because there was like a window over there, and I'd like, okay, I know when the sun's out that we're like almost done, and I would black out again and come to and black out, come to, and man, it was so bad. But I will tell you, like that, what that medicine did, knowing now that after going through the work that I did between the two and my second one, is it had no choice but to completely, like, explode, like, what every sense of what I thought was me. Like, you were so wrong, man." And it was like it had no choice but to just explode and like, "Hey, man, you're blank canvassing." I came out of that experience, and I was the definition of pure panic and anxiety.
Yeah.
Every single block in my mind, every wall I put up, every single barrier that you can imagine that you go through in life and you hold, bob and weave and you put those blocks up in your mind and your life, they were gone. Ibogaine completely wiped my slate. And I was the definition of pure anxiety and panic. I was laying in that bed just and I was vibrating, man. I just remember vibrating, and my body was just expelling and expelling the next day. And it was so miserable. And that, I just want to get that across is like, this is a medicine that's going to give you what you need, not what you want. Right. Ibogaine, it takes its payment up front and you earn it. It is not a magic pill that you're gonna take and you ain't gonna do nothing and you're gonna wake up the next day like, "Yeah, man, I'm doing
Yeah.
so good." No, Ibogaine makes you earn. It is
Yeah.
earned, man. It wants the money up front,
And so
and
you
it's it's
after
it's
this whole
hard, man.
experience with Ibogaine, I know second day is 5-MeO, did you find a lot of the relief and the peace from the
Ugh,
Ibogaine the next day? Or did you really roll into it and not I mean, tell us how that went. I'd love to
ugh.
hear the I think it sounds like that bomb you were
So
carrying your whole life got blown up by Ibogaine is what I think.
it did, and the hard part is like, they he's like, "What do you do with that?" Like, I'm vibrating. I'm literally just expelling energy that I've held on to for so long. And, I would go to the docs and they were giving me, like I remember Slider saying, like, "Don't take any meds, man. You gotta go through it. You gotta go through it." And I didn't believe it at the time, and, they ended up medicating me and putting me out, because I was gone. Like, I was pure, 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 pure anxiety, man. I don't know, like, if you could feel what I'm saying, man, but I was pure
Picking it
just,
up, brother.
oh, like,
Yeah, I get it
pure
100%. Like you're in a perpetual state of
oh, it
panic
was so bad. And,
because you're
yeah, but
all of a sudden
great
you can feel things
yeah,
again.
great day. I felt everything, man. I
All of it.
was everything, and it was just brutal. But I went through Gray Day. It was miserable. That was the first day that I actually ate something. They had bone broth soup and 5-MeO day, man. 5-MeO, buddy. 5-MeO. Like, man, if
The god
I don't
molecule.
like to spoil things, and I don't want to say like things for people, but man, you know, like that is a gift from God.
It's a beautiful
That is a
thing,
gift.
dude. It's an absolutely
What
beautiful
a
thing.
fucking man, like,
It
if Ibogaine I equate to like 80, 60 or 80 grit sandpaper, 5-MeO DMT is like 2,000 grit, man. It just smooth, baby,
satin sheets,
smooth.
bro.
This
It's
took
like
out
the
all the oh, but so I yeah.
you
So
could
anyway,
just see
day
the
of
look on
day
your
of
face too.
5-MeO.
That was like the most like authentic transition ever from Ibogaine anxiety to silky satin sheets and 5-MeO.
Oh, maybe. But it's like, yeah, anywho, like, I don't know if you ever saw and people that are listening to you that your podcast just ever saw, Harry Potter, right? And at the one of the scenes, like Voldemort is in that white station. I don't remember the whole movie, but he's curled up in a ball underneath like one of the benches. That for some reason that really resonated with me on my 5-MeO day before I had done it. Is I kept begging him. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like dude, it's a good thing they take your phones away. Absolutely, give your phone up, dude. I would have found an Uber and went home. Gray day and 5-MeO
No
day,
way
I
you
was
were saying.
dreadful, man.
Oh, yeah, you were
Yeah,
not
I was
sticking
gone.
around.
I knew I knew that I did something bad. I was gonna kill. I killed myself. I'm gonna die. This was a horrible, horrible idea. And I kept telling Slider Man, I'm like, "Hey man, just put me towards the back. Like I just need time." And he's like, "Okay." And they do such a good job. I will say, the ambulance staff is like, they would be like the best at betting, like gambling, because they don't give up nothing. They give
No,
up nothing.
no,
They just
they
tell you
got
like,
it.
"Don't worry, buddy, it's gonna work. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you there, whatever it was, And it's like, man, you should be a betting man
Yeah,
because you
you're
didn't give up
like,
nothing.
You're hypnotizing me or something because this is weird. I'm just following along." This is
Yeah, but
beautiful.
yeah, I laid in my bed, curled up in just that pure panic, and I was dreadful, man. And that was the moment, man, for me, the very first time I gave up. And that's the moral of any of these stories, man, is like surrender. And I don't know how to tell you how to do it. I don't know how to tell your listeners how to do it. I don't know how to tell myself to do it. But when you surrender to this life and just let it all go, it's what it is. It's the answer is like I went upstairs. So I packed my suit, my backpack. I put on the end of my bed because I was like, I'm going to die. They're going to put me on some other medication and they're going to put me on this other thing that I don't know what it is,
You're
and
like,
I'm
if I'm
going to
already
die. Like I'm
here,
going to die.
if I'm already at this point, no matter what they're giving me next, it's only gonna make it exponentially worse, right? So you're like, I
Yeah,
can't
I knew I was
possibly.
going to die.
Yeah, so there was no way you were making it through the
No,
5-MeO. You already figured that out.
nope.
It was gonna end you.
Dude,
And
yep.
it did.
I promise
Technically,
you,
it ended you. It
it
ended
ended.
you as that
It
person
ended.
that you were.
Hmm.
And that's the beauty of
Oh,
5-MeO, man. It is a gift from God. It
oh,
truly is. The
man,
message is
like
beautiful. The
the way
moments are
that I,
just just
the
you can
way that
feel
I
it
equate
when you talk
5-MeO,
about it,
man.
right? You can
Mm,
feel it right now.
oh,
You're like,
that's it's
love it.
pure love, man.
Thank
But
you.
the way that I explain 5-MeO, man, is like it's like this storm that's we're living in right now that just came through the U.S. and all you see is the darkness of your life. And when you're in an airplane, you go up through the cloud, and then you get that glimpse of that beautiful sunrise, and then you come back down into life. That's 5-MeO, man. And it's like, but anywho, I packed my bag, I put it on the end of my bed, I grabbed my pillow, and that way they just when I died in this experience, they knew where my bag was and they could give it to my wife. Seriously.
You know
That was where
what?
I was at. And
Right. Take it easy
I
on
went
them.
upstairs,
Clean
man.
up. Set
Uh,
everything up.
yeah, like, dude, I mean, I'm, that's where I was, man. I gave up. I was like, okay, I'm going to die. Like, I don't know how to resonate that enough. Like, I surrendered of like the utmost whatever of the word or the phrase. And I went upstairs and he walked me through how to do it. And man, I can tell you, like, I am not a religious. I was never a religious person. I knew nothing about God prior to going to Ambio. I knew nothing besides Jesus Christ was a guy on a cross. Um, Church is where you went when you were at your lowest point in your life and you just didn't know where to grasp anymore. That was, besides your mom putting your hand on the Bible when you're telling a lie. Like that's all I
Exactly.
knew. That's why when people ask me like, "Oh, you were in this psychedelic thing," and no, buddy, because I knew nothing, and I know everything now. But
Well put, brother. Well put.
I w-
That's a good well put.
I I went through, man, and I did everything he said, and I went through that kaleidoscope, and I basked in God's eternal love for
What felt like
like
eternity,
the
right?
amount.
Like it feels like you're there
There's
for
how do you?
eternity. It's the most perfect and pure
Man,
blissful thing, and you just feel wrapped in all the love and
mm,
greatest things you've ever felt in your life, but
dude,
none of the negative things.
how do
And there's an energy source pulling
nothing.
you towards it that you know is the God, but you don't ever
Oh,
get pulled, you never move, you're just in this stagnant state of absolute pure love
just
and every
pure, and
aspect
it's
of
not
it.
that
There's
phrase
not
doesn't
words
even do
for
it
it. You can't,
justice,
yeah,
man.
we can't
There's
even
no,
create. No, it's a
mm,
beautiful, beautiful
like
moment.
oh, like the love that is directly towards every human on this earth. So beautiful, man. And I cried and I apologized for everything. I'm showing him my tattoos. I have a whole bunch of Norse pagan. I believed in war gods, man, because why would I have to be putting these things that I went through? Like God would do that to me. And dude, I cried and I cried and I cried. And I just remember just crying so many times until he had said that I was forgiven. And I remember coming out and Slider like, "You want to go again?" And I'm like, "Hold my beer, please." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
seriously? Just
Just let me stay
can I
there.
go there
I don't even.
permanently?
I thought I was gonna die anyway, but now I'm already in heaven. What are you doing bringing me back? Let me just stay there.
And it's so
I
crazy as I remember talking to him, talking, to God in those moments, and I'm just like, what matters? And he had said everything and nothing, and it's hard to equate. Just like you said, time, you can't explain time in that realm. Is it just does not exist.
it is
There
like
is no
that.
such thing as time. And but the hard part for me coming out right, and that's kind of like we've talked for a few weeks as we were trying to get this going. And I could tell you about my second experience through the entire medicine was just absolutely just pure beauty. Ibogaine gave me exactly what I needed on the second trip. I really knew my intentions were. I went into it. It was so, so painful, but yet so beautiful. And I didn't even do the DMT on my second trip a few weeks ago
Really?
because dude, I just, uh, I wanted to so bad and I begged, man. But, you know, I just, I was in so much love. Like my soul was saturated in love because, like we kind of emailed back and forth as I saw five guys. I could have pointed them out at the hotel. I didn't. I couldn't kind of. I did point them out at the hotel and I could see the pain in them, man. And watching these guys know that they were messed up, no other avenue to go through, like at wits' end, every end of themselves, but wanting to better themselves and watching them go through this experience was I could have done no medicine the second time and just basked in that. It was like, man, I love you guys so much. I just like 5-MeO day, the second time I went upstairs and I was like, man, I want to so bad sit in that love, but I'm already there, man. Like watching these guys
That
heal and go through it, brother. I was like, man, and quick like side thing is, I that first day I was sitting there talking to to Slider, and I remember talking to him. There was a sergeant major. He's the one that got me into yoga. Um, and he runs a yoga. It's called Cadre Dan, I believe is his site, but it's called Tactical Yoga
tactical
365,
yoga.
and I've been
Nice.
doing it since I've been back.
Nice.
Really cool, interesting change on it,
I
man.
love it.
Definitely check it out. He's a really solid guy, but he was a command sergeant major, and he just was like the epitome of like that structure, that you see in the military. And I remember sitting with Slider outside, going, "Honestly, man, if I get nothing out of this week, like I can't wait for God to rip the sergeant major out of that man." And it was so beautiful. And I was talking to this man the other day, and we're basking, just shooting, talking, texting back and forth. And when he went through 5-MeO after everything, like, he was dreadful coming out of the DMT or the Ibogaine, and he's like, "Why did I do this?" And didn't get a lot of didn't think he got a lot out of it, and he's whatever, and, I won't go through all his business, but, watching and hearing him when his soul got ripped out of that body, and you heard him scream and just that release when you go through that 5-MeO. And I remember the guys there, and they were like, "What's going on?" He was like the first guy, and I was like, "That's the sergeant major leaving. Like he's done."
Bye,
And
sir.
he came downstairs and he went outside. Oh, and he went outside. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, man. He went out back, kneeled on the ground, and just wept, man. And I was like, dude, I couldn't wait to meet the man Dan, not the sergeant major anymore. And it was so freaking beautiful.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
dude, it was like life changing for me, man. But yeah,
I
that's
think
kind
that
of
was
the,
an
I don't,
amazing summary too. I think the fact that you said you wanted to go sit in that love again, but you were already living in it, and that's really like a very profound statement because I don't think you can overstate the amount of love that touching pure source gives you. I don't think there's a way to overstate that. You could never, if you gave me hours and all the words in the world to be able to talk about it, I still could not put together the feeling that comes from it. And as long as you're able to tap back into that feeling and remember it, you're able to get that 1%. But not only that 1%, the other 99% as well. And so, you were looking for 1%, you
Yeah.
got 100%. And then it's evident that
Yeah.
you didn't even do the 5-MeO the next time, which was your favorite part of the whole first experience. So, like, that tells you how much you had
Ugh.
to, and I agree with you, and I watched a beautiful ceremony with 25, 30 people with it 5-MeO, and I didn't partake, and it was the first time I had been to a ceremony where I didn't take. And I got just as much out of watching other people go through their experience
Mm.
as I did, if not more. Like, I walked away like truly affected by watching other people simply go through their ceremony, and I was like, who knew that you could take so much away from being a spectator?
It's so beautiful, man. And it's man, and that's that for me on my first journey. You just exploded my mind, wiped everything I know that was right and wrong, my left and right limits of life and what I believed in and the structure and this bullshit of the United States, right? And this boom, like the United States, we're so good at, hey man, if you get in a car wreck, go see a doctor. But when it comes to like, hey man, let's go peel back the onion of trauma or the long term, like we're just suck at it, man.
Yeah,
And
we're not very
that
good.
that was for me, that was hard. And I will tell you, like, um, my journey back home and that's why I want to resonate with you and your people that listen to you is like Ibogaine, it you have to do the work. You have to. Like you said, people that have done it X amount of times. I did it twice. Did I want to do the 5 MO the second time? Yes. But there's a point where you go, and it's not wasn't me talking. I don't know if you want to call it intuition, higher power source talking to me. It was like, you don't need it, bro. Like we're good, dude. Like you're in
I
love,
believe
man. Like,
once you've experienced what you're meant to experience, you don't need to go back. And you feel no need to go back. It's not a recreational thing. You don't want to abuse it
no.
in a way. That's how I felt too. After I had my first experience, I said, you know what, I'm good. Like I got what I needed. And I was already doing yoga and psilocybin and the things that, were really helpful. And when I got to that point, but I really felt like I don't need to do it again. I feel like I got what I need, and it was only a few years later that I
Yeah.
was like, when life had changed and I'd gone through some other things and trauma and loss and etc. started to compound that I decided to do it again as a refresher. But I was like, and then that was a totally different experience, just as profound and
Yeah.
amazing, but a whole different experience. So it's really cool how that works.
And there's no reason that either of these should be illegal. At no point am I like, "Hey, Chris, man, after this podcast, dude, let's go take some Ibogaine and trip balls out
Exactly.
back."
We're not
Like,
gonna be getting
fuck
together
no.
doing 5-MeO in the
No!
backyard
I'm
on
not
Sunday.
doing it,
That's not a drug.
like, dude,
It
like,
is.
A, right? Like, this Ibogaine is rough. It is 60 grit sandpaper, it's gonna take all the grooves out of you. It is earned every step of the way. Like, people need to understand that it's not a tourist type of medication. You don't just do it because you wanna have fun. It is
It's not a
earned,
good time. No,
right?
this
You
is
gotta
not a you don't
it's
get
not.
high.
I mean
You
I
don't
mean,
get
like,
high at all.
at all.
It's that's
No.
not what we're
Like,
talking about.
your bo like, your body is on full vibration, dude. Like, your every neuron in your body, your mind is just firing. Every
Well, I mean,
part of
I
you
think
is
actually
shaking,
you're
like,
the
you're
poster
clean.
child for for Ambio because you can't sell anybody better than you sold them, but also B for exactly what you're saying now. This is a medicine. This is not something people are going to start kicking around in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon with football. You're
No.
not going to be doing
Heck no.
Ibogaine.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
you
think it's really well put and important that you point out your story would have talked anyone out of doing Ibogaine that I ever played it for. But you still tell people to go do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where it's
and
like but that's where we've got to get the government to see, which it's happening now. I mean, the movement's crazy and it's happening faster than I've seen
yeah.
anything else. So that's beautiful. But yeah, that's a great way to look at it. You basically said how miserable it basically puts you in a perpetual state of anxiety to where you thought you were going to die. That was your sales pitch for Ibogaine. That's not a good
Yeah.
sales pitch, brother. We're not going to sell it like that.
You know,
But then you brought it full circle and said, but I went back for seconds, you know, and that's really like that says a lot. Did you take anyone with you on the second go, or did you go with some people that you knew, or what was the experience like? I mean, did you see
Yeah.
the same people?
So, yeah, so, like, right before that, I wanna explain is, like, my trip home also was absolutely horrible because, yes, like, A, you exploded my mind and you just told me that their, like, source, God, whatever people wanna refer to right, to the Lord as is, like, he's real. Not he, she, it, whatever, right? Like, God is real. So you just sent me I went home from there going, I'm pure anxiety still. I don't know what to do with myself, and I know that there is a being out there that loves me so freaking much that I can't put into a word. And,
Yeah. How do
like,
you go
I
back
will
to
tell you,
normal
like,
life?
So
"Hey,
I
honey,
just
I'm home.
and it
I
it was
was
so
out.
I
I
got
lost my mind, and I also saw God. I'll see you in a little bit for dinner." Yeah, I mean, like, what's
right? I didn't even make it home, man. I didn't. I got to San Diego, and I was in a perpetual state of panic. And I remember the driver dropping us off at the hotel, and stupidly, right, like, if your people are like, if you're listening, man, stay the day. Stay the day. When you get back home, like, or when you get back to San Diego, get a hotel room, take a nap. Take a freaking nap, man. Go lay by the pool, reflect on what you just did. That is the importance of, like, this conversation with you, man, is the work. The medicine works. It's gonna give you the 99 you didn't want. You wanted the 1%, it gives you the 99, but you gotta put in the freaking work, and I didn't know, and I went home, I hopped straight on an airplane, and America is so loud. I remember getting back over the border and these TVs and people and just things everywhere, and you're just like I'm like, "Ah, I don't know what's happening," and I was pure panic, and I went on an airplane. I actually ended up getting pulled off of the airplane in Denver, because I was so panicked. I texted my wife. I bought Wi-Fi on the plane, and I was, like, apologizing, like, "I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I did this. I'm gonna die. Here's where the will is. Here's the passwords to everything." It was lovely, it was a great guy that was a vet in the Denver airport, and he walked me outside and told me, like, "Hey, man, I just wanted to go to the hospital." And, he's like, "We can't utilize, an ambulance for non-emergencies." I'm like, "Dude, look at me. It's an emergency. I'm
Yeah,
dying."
this is an
But he
emergency.
knew and you wanna talk about the VA, man, is like, I took an Uber to the VA, this huge Denver VA, and I walked in. Nobody said shit to me. I'm in pure panic, like, sweating, freaking out. I'm at your front door. The guy at the front desk doesn't say a dang thing to me. And I went and I thought I was being chased at that point, and I was very near psychosis at this point. I went and hid in the bathroom, thought somebody was chasing me. Ended up going to the doctors, and my mom and my wife stayed on the phone with me, and I ended up going to get a hotel room and chilled. And, that's, like, the story you need to understand, like, when you do this medicine, it is about that focus when you're back, like, you need to rest your mind, reflect on what you're doing, and do the work. Do the work, and when I got back home and I got back to my kids and my wife, I took the half the week off from there, and I said, "I don't care, like, what else matters. I'm gonna do all these classes that vets keeps preaching for me to do and all these things, and I'm gonna do them." And I'll get into those, but, I did those, and I significantly better, and when I went back 2 weeks ago to Ibogaine, it was so beautiful, man, because I talked to the medicine, I sat there, I knew it was coming over me, and it was like going over a wave into the abyss of, like, just pure nothing, and it just like, I went into this beautifulness, and, my first one, like I said, no visuals, so don't expect visuals. Second time, weirdly enough,
All
8
visuals.
8 plus hours of pure visual, man. And, I really do believe that, what they say about the medicine is that you're gonna fight, or whatever it is, the 7 generations before and after. I think, maybe every bloodline needs a warrior, man.
That's right. That's right.
And, that second time, man, I remember Alice in Wonderland eyeballs, the scary
Nice.
cat eyes and the blackness, and
Nice.
I just kept
Chester.
saying to myself, like,
Chester.
"Okay, well." Yeah, I was like, and I kept saying, like, "Okay, if it's gonna be a bad trip, it's gonna be a bad trip." And I had this prayer that I kept saying and my intentions I kept saying over and over and over again until it just took me and I fought. I fought the biggest war and I died so many times in Ibogaine. I just kept fighting it, and it was just, you don't realize it's like it's you fighting you, the flesh, the ego. You're fighting you, and it was these demons that I just kept fighting, and they kept saying, "You are not good enough for God. You are not good enough for this. You're imperfect." Blah blah. Blah. And they kept killing me, and I just kept saying, "If I'm not good enough for God, and I'm not good enough," whatever they kept saying, and I was like, "Then just kill me, just kill me, just kill me." And I died and died, and I remember my flesh getting ripped off and this and that, and it was like crazy. And then I just remember, right, that same feeling. It's crazy that I didn't, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but like I said, it's something about surrender, like the true truth of surrender. And I don't know how to tell you to get there, but I surrendered in the Ibogaine, just like I did in the 5-MeO about 11 months prior. And I just remember that same loving God coming into my Ibogaine and just saved me. And I asked every question possible, and it's so crazy because I still had the anxiety, still had all these things. I could tell you, like after my first one, haven't touched alcohol, no tobacco, no marijuana, no nothing, dude. I drink water
Over
like
a
that.
year
It was
ago.
not even like over a year ago, and it's not even like I was like, I don't need it. Like I just don't care. Like I just like I'm
It's
good.
not
Like you
a
said, I'm gonna start. I wanna do the healthy thing. I wanna take care of this body that I was graced with, and I wanna do good. Yeah, I went through that second one, and
so
it answered
what was
every
the
question.
response what was the response from your wife and kids when you got home? Like, what was their initial response versus their response now? If I was to interview them, what would they say? Mm.
I think the first one, I don't know if anybody would have words because I didn't either. I was in pure fear and just bliss all at the same time. I don't know how you can equate my first experience because I didn't understand, and I didn't know that the work how much of the work mattered. The second time, man, I went to my wife and I could tell you that I just radiated love. Like I knew my purpose in life. Same with my kids, and I came up to my wife. She traveled with me on the second one because I had such a bad travel experience on the first one. She actually came with me and then went and saw her sisters and then train ride back down and we traveled together. I remember sitting in the hotel just apologizing. And I was just like, I'm such an idiot, man, because I had this anxiety and I didn't know where it was coming from when I left Ibogaine the first time. And I just wouldn't understand it because it was like a separation anxiety. And I couldn't leave my house for a year. It sounds so like, oh, you went to Ibogaine and you had a separation anxiety. Like, good job, man. That sounds like a great thing to do. No,
Yeah, yeah. And then you
I
couldn't
didn't
leave your
learn
house
the,
for a
I
year.
wasn't
So
learning the lesson.
again, you're a
Like,
terrible
I wasn't
salesperson for
listening.
Ibogaine and a great salesperson for Ambio.
Right. It's about doing the work, man. I didn't understand what it was. The second time when I went in the medicine, it said, I wasn't saying to just be home and be present, like just to be there. It told you these things, or it showed me these things that I just didn't remember or understand what it was. It said, I need you to pay attention to your wife and your kids. Spend the time. And that's what I told my wife after this. I was like, God, I'm such an idiot. Like the answers are always like right there in your face. And it's like you're home, but you're not present, man. It's like do the work. But yeah, like I said, my second time, it just so beautifully profound. And I everything I've asked about the anxiety too, and the medicine said "Why do you keep trying to fight a piece of yourself?" And it was like one of those like holy crap moments. Like what? Like oh, it's a bodily response, and like this is you, like it's a part of you. And when I did that, I was at the end of the time in my medicine, and I saw this kind of form of I don't know how you could say it like smoke or jelly or it was just like a form. And I knew it was my anxiety. And I said, okay. And I gave it a hug and I just said, I love you, man. I'm so sorry. Like I've been trying to rip a piece of myself out of myself. And it just came into me and engulfed me. And I could tell you, like, I've been like, I always say, I told people my story the second time is I know like the Jewish phrase, shalom, shalom, which is perfect peace. I know, I know what that means now. It is when my soul is like just drenched in the love of God and my mind was at perfect peace. Not a thought went through my mind. And I sat there on grade A my second time in that perfect peace and said, okay, okay. Like that's what it was, man. But it's the work you put in and that you gotta, do the journaling, do the yoga, do the meditations, man. All the woo-woo stuff that they say is not real. Man, it's the work that matters, the heartfelt communications. I went in and did these things like, "Hey, I'm just gonna do all these classes," and I went through this one heartfelt communication, through vets, teaching me a new way to communicate through emotions and, your feelings and things like that instead of just coming home and being like, "Hey, Chris, how was your day?" "Good, bro."
Yeah,
Right, like, "Oh, well, how was
exactly.
your how was your day, man?" Right, like, there's a way that you can communicate from your heart space this whole time. And, it took me that whole year between my 2 Ibogaine trips to understand, but I put in that work, man. I did these men's integrations that vets and Ambio does, and I started to rebuild, and I started to rebuild. And that's the point, like, that to me, that's Ibogaine, is it's the fork in the road, like the last or whatever movie of Fast and the Furious,
Yeah.
right? You can
Yeah.
go left, and you can go back to your life. Same way it was, bro. Good luck. But also, that there's a source creator now. So, dude, I don't know how you
Good luck trying to
chew that one
become
up,
yeah, how you gonna explain this
right?
later now?
Or
You talk to him again.
yeah, right?
You know
It's
you're
like,
gonna see him again,
or you
so
could,
like,
yeah,
now what?
but
And
or
so
yeah, or
now
just
you've
say
got a
fuck,
whole new
say
perspective
fuck it and
from
go
this
right.
one. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no way you can go touch God and then turn around and come back and be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go back to my normal living."
No,
That's not a thing. There's no way. It's not possible. And I think it's great that you acknowledged and gave yourself the ability to say it's okay to have anxiety. There's nothing wrong with that, but I got to honor that portion of myself and be okay with it, and it's okay to feel love. It's okay to talk
yeah,
about love. It's okay to love someone else. Go figure, right? You can tell your brothers you love them and actually mean it. And it's like, and now you understand what kind of love it is because it's that agape love, right? It's the God love that is never ending, never
yeah,
beginning,
man.
just an endless love once you find that in life, you can't return
It's the
to
only thing that
or it,
matters, man.
no,
It's
it's it.
all that
It's
matters.
one thing that matters.
Our
Everything else
purpose
is
here,
just
man, that is it.
and now
It's
you hug your
all
kids
stuff,
and they feel
right? Like,
different.
oh,
You hug your wife and it feels different. You touch a plant, it feels different. Like everything is just more because you find
everything, man.
gratitude too. I think we definitely have to give you like a nickname, and I think it would be yeah, we could definitely do gratitude, but I think your word what's your big word here? We'll have to ponder this one, and then we'll see what we
I
can come
say,
up with, but I'm gonna let you
uh,
know because I know you've gotten some good sales pitches in there.
yeah.
So tell me, now that you've scared everybody away from doing Ibogaine, because they're all gonna fear doing anxiety and everything else. But tell me what your message is to our brothers out there that are struggling. Tell them what they need to hear. Because to me, you're this soft, gentle. I'm seeing you as the guy that you've always been and the man you were created to be, not as the person who
Yeah,
struggled and suffered and went through all the things you went through. You appear to me to be completely healed and ready to give back now, and that's really the biggest next step because putting in the work, not only for you, but the only way that I feel good about me is if I'm helping others. And that's my measure of success is the amount of people I can touch in this world before I die and make an impact in their life in a positive way. That's my definition of success. It has nothing to do with money, titles, status, care less. None of that matters. What I want to do is touch as many people as I can and help them along the way.
yes.
That's my definition of success. Does that kind of align with where you're at?
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, I resonate with that one, man. I don't know of anybody that I've talked to that doesn't come out of that same thing. It's like, the matrix is real. I will say to our brothers and sisters in arms and everybody in this world is the man-made matrix of bull crap is real. The bills don't matter. All these things that we materials and all this crap, it's not real. Like it's real to this reality that we're in, whatever you want to call it. I call it the Matrix, man, and I still have to go out. I have to make what I call monopoly money because I gotta, live life in this matrix that we've created as mankind. But peace is possible. It really, really is. And if you're struggling, man, Ibogaine and 5-MeO and Ambio and vets, man, like these medicines will save your life, but you got to put in the work. It's not easy work. It is the hardest work you've ever done. I don't care what selection process or what things you've done in your life. It's hard work. The medicine is hard, but you learn a lesson and then you leave there and you do the work, right? Just communicate from the heart, right? Things we're not told to do in this society, in this world, right? bottle things up, don't talk about your emotions. Do everything that's the opposite of what you were ever taught in life is all that matters. Like, we are here to experience life. I believe that, learn from our life here, but to give and receive love. That's it, man. The answer to everybody's purpose, like everybody searches for purpose, man. Dude, the Bible says it too, right? The Bible says it, everything says it, right? Love your neighbor, love
Yep.
yourself,
Yep,
give
love
love,
one
spread
yeah,
love.
do unto others all the everything. Well, I think the shortest
It's
verse in the Bible is God is love, which would then mean that you could interchange those 2 words and put love is God. And so therefore, to me, living a godlike life is living a life of love, choosing love decisions, not fear decisions. And I believe all other emotions derive from fear or love. And it sounds to me like you face down your fear. And I also teach everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. Whatever you're afraid of is what's stopping you from getting the blessings you're supposed to have. And if you'll confront that fear
oh, man.
1000% of the time, you will come out the other side with
Man.
blessings abundant. But you got to stare down the fear. And people who are afraid of things have all this opportunity. To me, I'm going, man,
Mhm.
I wish I was still afraid of all these things because then I could go do them again so I could go through the blessings again. That's the mentality I've had with, and I mean, I'm still getting smacked around. I'm actually getting ready to release an album this year of me singing. Okay, I'm 48 years old, dude. I'm not a singer. I never sang, never played an instrument in my life. I made fun of people who played instruments. Like this. It's absurd, but it's not me. It's source. It's what I'm being called to
Yeah.
do. I'm afraid to do it, so therefore I'm gonna. Because I know that there's blessings on the
Yeah.
other side of it. So we've been down this road, right? We know that when you're afraid of something on that
It's
level, all right, let's do it. Here
it's
we go.
man. Dude, I resonate with what you're saying, man. The
I
medicine
got it too.
literally
Your
told me when
nickname,
I
your
asked it a
your
question.
nickname's gonna be Surrender, Scott Surrender Griffin, because
That's
that's the
it.
word. And I
Hey,
had
man,
not, no one had really
surrender.
brought that word to me until yesterday. It was mentioned to me that submit and surrender are 2 totally different things. And really, no one's ever, I never
Yeah.
hear the word surrender until yesterday. And then all of a sudden today,
Let it go,
we'll
bro.
say, coincidentally, you now
Right?
have said surrender to me at least a half a dozen times. And I think it's really profound because we gotta surrender. You have
It's
to.
it.
There's just
You
no way
gotta
around
surrender,
it.
man.
And we could probably do an entire
And
podcast just talking about that word. But it's
it's so crazy. And you say the same things, and it's medicine told me the same thing you just told me. It said, do and say the hard things, right? If it's uncomfortable to you and doesn't feel whatever, that's actually the right way to go. Like, stop holding it in, stop fighting this, stop doing surrender. Just do it. Just take that first step, man. Just
yep.
take the step.
The path of least
But
resistance leads nowhere.
yeah, I
And
mean,
that's why there's no
and
resistance.
these organizations, man.
Yeah.
That's it, man, and these organizations that are here to help you, like Vets and Ambio, they have so many courses and people to talk to and coaching, and they you can rebuild, man. Like, peace is so possible if you put in the work, man. Don't think it's a magic pill. Put in the work, and man, you will find perfect peace,
So you can
and it's love.
confidently
That's
tell
it.
all of our brothers out there that that 1% that they're looking for is 100% available.
I could guarantee it. It's possible. Just
And that is,
put in the work, man.
there's the testimony right there. That's all you need to hear. The rest of the show is just fun and amazing, and what a great story, Scott. I can't tell you how much, dude. We got to do a follow up. We have to do another one of these. This is
Yeah,
amazing,
man.
and we're definitely going to stay in touch because you've only been to Florida one time, and that makes
And man, yeah,
that's crazy to me because it's snowing here now. You were talking about how hot it was here in
yeah,
Florida. So we'll have to do a whole story on Disney World. Maybe when you come back for a second time. Maybe it'll be
yeah, man.
less horrible because you're not carrying a bomb around Disney this time. Not that it was a metaphorical bomb in
Yeah,
case Disney's
right?
listening. Nobody nobody freak out.
It's yeah. It was myself the whole time. The answer to your problems are you. You are the problem. Get out of your own freaking way, bro.
Man, the worst enemy I could ever have is me, and that's certainly something that I have to face down every day. I think there's no way to ever explain what you experienced and what you're experiencing currently, but there is the word
Mm,
surrender and there is the word hope. And those are the things that we really kind of have to put out there is that if you're looking for help, man, there's a way to get it and it's available. There's a lot of
yeah, man.
methodologies and a lot of programs. And this one is amazing. So we need to get the word out, keep spreading the word, keep sharing this information because,
Yep.
dude, you're a great guest and amazing. You should be your own host. Honestly, you should have your own show because, like, you could do this thing. You could really do this, especially if you're told to do and
It's
say the hard stuff.
mhm.
You know, you got to do it publicly because you have to be held accountable.
It's the same thing you said, man. Like, when I left my first one, I went and, did a Wall Street Journal, post. It was called, Combat Cocktail. I said, "Hey, same thing like doing this with you was like, if it saves one human being on this earth, I don't veteran or not, just save one soul. That's all that matters. Then tell my story a million times.
Yep,
I don't
that's
care."
right. And it will. I guarantee that. I can give you that 100%. That's something I've been blessed with through my trainings and teachings and methodologies is sight. I have vision. I'm able to see things. And I can tell you,
Mm.
brother, you're going to make an impact and a really, really large. You did the hard thing, bro. You did the hard thing. And that's what takes to make things happen. And I can't tell you, dude, when I texted you a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, man, you want to do the show? And you were like, no, I'm headed back down to Mexico. And I was like, brother, yeah, yes, 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 contact me whenever, I'll be like, like, I was, like, so excited for you and so amped, but I was also like,
Mm.
"This will be even better, I get to talk to him after he gets back from a second journey," like so what are the intentions going forward, Scott? You gonna do it again? You gonna ever do it again? You gonna just, ride it out and see what happens?
Y Dude, I walk my life in pure faith these days, man. If it's meant to be and it's calling me, then sure. But dude, I'm here to spread love, man. And if, like I said, just same as you, if I can save one person in this earth, like to just like come together, man. Like we are not divided. It is the powers that be that divide us, right? Um, it's really it. Just do the work, which is, dude, just save the next guy or gal, man. It doesn't like this world needs to wake up and know that
Yeah,
it's
that's the
love, dude.
truth. If we could get back to just kindness and just one person a day reach out to you, one person a day check on, one person a day. If everybody did it every day, man, what a
Mhm.
wave we could start, And when this whole thing came from a documentary called Waves and War, which if you guys have not, if no one's seen it, you're absolutely the only people on the earth that haven't seen it. Like this is an amazing documentary, film, all the things. I mean, it's the holy grail of
It
healing,
is.
really, is what it is. And so, this all started with there, but I think that, the waves are being made, the ripples effects of those waves are us and the people that are sharing this information and getting it out, So that's the beauty of what I think is going on right now is I think that it's rippling out and it's getting out to the people, which is what we got to do. And, like you said, ambio science for president. Like this.
Right, man. If everybody did 5 they should make 5-MeO, a requirement to be president because nobody would be president. Nobody everybody be like, "I'm not
You'd be
doing that."
hugging everybody, just be walking around giving people
Yeah.
hugs, talking about, hey, we're going to give
Uh,
away free everything because, you just be acting out of love all the
it's
time.
just
With
all the
the
time, man.
agape love, right? So,
I
man, I can't thank you so much,
I
Scott. You're an amazing guy, an amazing guest, and I just can't even picture you being stressed, anxious, and depressed. None of those words even I even visualize you being. So that's how far you've pole vaulted yourself from that guy and how much you blew him up and got
it
rid of
works,
him.
man.
So keep doing what you're doing, brother. We will
Put in the
keep in
work.
touch for sure. And thank you so much, genuinely.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Man,
Namaste, my
appreciate you.
friend. Namaste.